Hey, it's John Lee Dumas of EO Fire, and it's The Entrepreneurial You, the show for dedicated and passionate Caribbean entrepreneurs seeking daily inspiration, brought to you by author, speaker, and award-winning entrepreneur Heneka Watkis-Porter. You must be prepared to ignite.
One thing you should really think about when you're producing content is, what is the point of this content? It's informational? Okay, great. But what do you want the user to do? When they get to the end of it, is that finished? Should they just go back to Google or go to Facebook or whatever? Or what do you want them to do? Do you want them to join an email list? Do you want them to buy something? You should really have a strong call to action that links in with whatever that content is about.
Hi, I'm Heneka Watkis-Porter, your inspirational leader and host of the Entrepreneurial You podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Bookophilia, Patois Apparel, and the Jamaica Stock Exchange. And now, let's go to today's episode. On the Entrepreneurial You today is someone who started out as a software engineer and worked for a variety of companies before he took a break from the corporate world to backpack and find his passion. He ended up developing a game and was looking for ways to promote it, which led him to learn about SEO. He started creating tools that increased website ranking, which is now the basis of his company, Ardo SEO. Ardo SEO is the ultimate multinational backlink building company that helps businesses achieve utmost success in their respective niches by using the most innovative methods of marketing online, including search engine optimization, search engine ranking, and link building. I'm more than happy to have on the show today Kris Reid. Welcome, Kris.
Hey, Heneka. Thanks very much for having me.
And it's my absolute pleasure. So here is my fun question to get you started. If you were running for office, what would your campaign slogan be?
You mean a public office I gather in the government?
Yes.
Oh, geez, you'd have to put a hell of a carrot to get me there. Well, my digital marketing name is the coolest guy in SEO, so let's go the coolest guy in government.
Alrighty, that works. All right, so I wanted to get out of the way your social media handle so that our community members can tweet at you or, reach out to you in the event that you were saying something at a particular point and it grabs them and they would just want to reach at you right at that moment. So go right ahead.
Yeah, sure. So if you can just Google the coolest guy in SEO and you'll see everything about me. There's Twitter and Facebook and, plenty of articles and people writing about me and lots of press. So that's the best way to track me down.
And, of course, my peak performers, you know that you can reach me, henekawatkis-porter.com, patoisapparel.com, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, which I am mostly on Instagram these days. So you can reach me at Heneka Watkis-Porter or Patois Apparel. So now we are going to demystify this whole subject of SEO. And Kris Reid is here from Ardo SEO to do exactly that. And we're so happy to have Kris on the show. So Kris, I did mention in the bio how you backpack and you went on to find your passion, but just give us a little more into how you ended up founding this company, and now you're the coolest guy in SEO. Tell us about that journey.
Yeah, so I'm a software engineer and I was working in finance on the biggest project in Europe, actually. It was a really great project and very interesting. But then came the financial crisis and the project pretty much got scrapped as all the banks lost all their money. And I lost my job, like many other of the 800 developers, I think it was, working on the project. It was really big. I thought, well, what am I going to do? I got a bank full of money and nothing to do. So I started backpacking around and I built this online game just for a bit of fun to kind of learn some new software and stuff. And as the game was getting to be ready, I was like, well, how do you get people to a website? How do you get people to come and play your game? And so I started learning about SEO. And at the time, I had a Russian girlfriend. And she said, well, come move to Russia. And I did. And I didn't speak Russian at the time. And so I couldn't really get a job. And so I thought, well, how am I going to make some money and feed myself? And so I started looking at SEO. And I saw that businesses need help to rank their website, and turned out that I was pretty good at ranking websites. So yeah, that's where it all began.
All right. Sounds interesting. It's also interesting to know that you didn't even think about how you're going to feed yourself before you move to Russia with your girlfriend. You know, your girlfriend first, and of course, think about how I'm going to do this after. Yeah.
Well, she was really pretty. So yeah.
So interesting story there. And now it leads us into the subject matter at hand, which is SEO. What is SEO? And we also hear the whole, so there is search engine optimization and there is search engine marketing. What are we talking about when we talk about that? And what's the difference between the two?
Search engine marketing is the paid ads that you see on Google. So if you type in any lawyer key phrase like divorce lawyer Las Vegas, you're going to see lots of ads. They come up the top and on the side, and they have a little symbol next to them that is ads. And this is how Google makes their money. And then SEO is the organic listings on the side. The ads, basically, whoever spends the most money wins and gets to the top. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's essentially it. And the organic listings are free, but it's who Google determines provides the best search result, the best answer to the person's question. So that's the difference between the two.
All right, so we're going to be delving more into SEO further down, but I just want to get from you, a feel of which is better.
In the short term, SEM, search engine marketing, is better. In the long term, SEO. So SEM, you spend and you can instantly turn it on and you can instantly turn it up, which is great. I mean, so recently we had a customer come to us and they had a pretty small budget. They gave us an initial budget and we put together a plan, and then they went, oh, we got to scale down because we don't have the money. And I said, well, you clearly need some money now, right? And SEO takes some time, and especially in the state that their website was in. And so I said, well, let's turn on AdWords, turn on SEM, get you making some money, and then we can scale up. And so what you need to work out with SEM is how much is your customer worth? And so he said, okay, his customer is worth $100. And so how much of that is profit? And it's like, let's say it's $80. So, $20 in costs, and then you got $80 in profit. So then you can spend $80 to get that customer, and you don't make any money, but you're still growing, and now you have a new customer and you might be spending something better. But like $50 would be a better cost acquisition. And so say at AdWords you were spending $5 per click. So $50 will get you 10 clicks to your website. And if you were getting a 10% conversion rate, well, that's one sale. So that adds up to $50. You make $30 profit, and then the $20 is the expense of whatever product you have. And so that works great. And you can scale that up too, because Google has a lot of traffic, and away you go. But the one problem, if you're spending, say, $1,000 a month on that, that's all you get is $1,000 worth. Where SEO, if you spend $1,000 on SEO in your first month, okay, you're not going to get the same instant traffic, but it compounds. So say it brings you 10 visitors a month. Then the next month you spend another $1,000. Well, you get an extra 10. This first 10 plus the next 10. So now you're getting 20. And then the next month you're getting 30. And the next month you're getting 40, because it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so with your spend with AdWords, that $1,000 is always going to get you the same amount. With SEO, that $1,000 every month, it's going to compound and be more and more and more. So in the long term, SEO way beats AdWords.
So it depends on what our strategy and objective is at a particular point in time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it always depends where your website's at. But so like this customer that came to us, he wanted to scale down his SEO plan, and his website needed quite a lot of work done to it. And I'm like, man, that's going to take the way you're scaling it down. It's going to take a couple months just to fix the technical stuff. And so you're not going to be making any real money. So that's why I suggested he switch to AdWords. And so he told me how many customers he needs. He said, okay, at $50, as soon as we can generate $100 customers per month with AdWords, well, then we can afford to turn that SEO on. And so that's perfect. Now we have a great strategy that how to bring in 100 customers. As soon as we do, then you can turn on the SEO. And the beauty with SEO too is it complements SEM. So the amount that you pay for an ad is based on how relevant you are. So if you and I are competing for a term like SEO, my website's much more relevant than yours. So Google won't charge me as much, where they'll charge you more because it's less relevant. Because they still want the person clicking on the ad to get a good search result. So you can ultimately pay whatever you want, and you could rank for any keyword in the ads, but it's bad for the user, so they're going to charge you a lot more. So as you do SEO and improve the quality of your website and the relevance of your website, the actual spend that you have to spend in AdWords goes down as well.
You began a while ago to enter the next subject area that I want to touch on, is that of page ranking. So let's delve into the fundamentals of how Google works, the page rank algorithm and so on.
Yeah, so Larry Page, the co-founder of Google, is a super genius. Anyone could wish to have a brain like his. Whilst he was at university, he was thinking about, well, how do websites work? All the search engines back then in the 90s were just rubbish. Yahoo was probably the dominant one, but there was lots of them like Excite and Alta Vista and all these ones that no one remembers. And they used to work based on text. So if you had buy ski boots written all over your website, you would rank number one for buy ski boots. You could keyword stuff. You could put buy ski boots 1,000 times on your website, and then you would rank number one for it, because that's how they ascertained what a website was about. And he looked at this and thought, this is just stupid. You're getting really bad search results. He thought, well, so when people write a book like a thesis, and everyone else references their thesis, well, they're the dominant authority in that niche. He thought, well, that must be the same for websites. If you've got a website and everyone links to your website, well, you must be the dominant authority. And so he made the PageRank algorithm, which is basically checking how many websites are linking to you, and the more powerful those websites are, the more points you get. And that was the fundamentals of the PageRank algorithm, and that's what Google started with, and it just proved to provide amazing results. Pretty soon, every other search engine disappeared, and Google was worth $1 gazillion.
This is so interesting, and there's so much we have to talk about. We're coming up to a break, but before we go to the break, you began to mention keywords and link building strategies, and those are two important facets, as it were, of SEO. So let's talk about one, keyword research, in terms of how many keywords we should target, and how do we work out the best keywords, and also the link building strategies that we can use to increase or improve our SEO ranking.
So keyword research, yes, this is really important. And how in depth you should go really kind of depends on your budget, how where you are. Like if you're just starting out, just a handful will do. Get started with 10. You don't have to go crazy. But then as you've got a more established site, you can really build that out and find all the low-hanging fruit. Like for our like full service customers, we might start looking at 1,000 keywords. And then you can start looking at ones that you're already on page 2 for, so like number 11 position. It's pretty easy to make some tweaks and jump up to page 1. So you can get a lot of traffic there for not a lot of work. But to start with, you really just want to focus on your main keywords, but you really need to look at the competition. Really valuable. Like if you're a small boutique hotel in, say, LA, you're not going to rank for hotels LA. Just forget about it. Hotels.com, Booking.com, TripAdvisor, these Yelp, these sort of companies spend, millions upon millions to build their brand and rank for those keywords, you're not going to beat them. So you need to find something that's relative. If you're a boutique hotel that has something special, then go and try and find those keywords. Who you should know who comes and stays at your hotel and why they stay at your hotel. So try and find the keywords that they're using to find you. But still, then you should go to Google yourself, type it in, and see that it's not ridiculously competitive. Because it's all about building authority. You need to have more authority than the other guys. If you're more relevant for that long tail keyword. So there's two types of keywords, short tail and long tail. A short tail would be like lawyer or lawyer Las Vegas, where a long tail would be, how to find a personal injury lawyer in Las Vegas. There's much less search volume for the long tail, and the longer it is, the easier it is to get as well. But it's also can be much more accurate to describe your product. Like if you sold ski boots, the keyword ski boots could be really competitive, but you might have some really specially designed ones like, ski boots for downhill jumping, and that, sure, there's only going to be a fraction of people that search that, but they're exactly your customers. So that's the best keyword to go for. Keyword research can be pretty tricky. So it really depends on how far into the rabbit hole you're willing to go.
All right. So let's take it now and have a look at the link building strategies. What is a backlink rather, and why are they so important? And if there's a penalty and all of that, how do we build backlinks?
Yeah. So like as I was talking before about PageRank, backlinks are what give you PageRank. A backlink is a link from one website to another, the little hyperlinks that you click on to go to another website. And yeah, they're super important. The more you have, the better. Well, from good quality websites. And Google knows that people know that that's the fundamentals behind Google. And so people started manipulating the system and generating backlinks in kind of artificial ways and to manipulate the rankings. And Google got really mad about this and created a penalty for this called the Penguin penalty. This created a whole new industry of negative SEO where you could link to, competitors' websites and get them de-indexed. But Google did the right thing and worked out how to kind of stop that pretty quickly. And so now that's not a big thing, but you still want to be making sure that links coming to your website are really high quality. And so basically you want to think about it as a neighborhood, right? You don't want to be in the sketchy neighborhood with broken down cars and broken windows and graffiti all over the place. That's not a good representation of your brand. And that's the same on the internet. You don't want bad, yucky websites linking to you. You want really good quality websites to be associated with your brand. And a really good way to get links from good quality websites is to partner with to work with the people that you partner with. No business works in isolation, right? Like if you're a bakery, you got your oven from somewhere, you buy your flour from somewhere, why don't you partner with these guys and show them the love? Generally people are quite passionate about even what they use. Like, tradesmen love their tools. They'll talk about, their brand of tools over another brand of tools all day long. Yogis will talk about a different yoga mat. Anyone who's passionate about what they do, they love doing it their particular way because they think that's the best. And so, work with the companies that you do think are the best and show a real appreciation for them. They'd love to see a use case too. If you're a hairdresser and you always use a L'Oreal hair dye, you could make a great article about, we always use this hair dye because it's the best hair dye and this is why, and here's a customer that we recently dyed a hair for and this is her really happy. So that shows a cool customer testimonial as well, which builds a lot of credibility. And if you pass that on to L'Oreal, they'd go, awesome. We love great testimonials. They'll probably share it on their social media and give you a link. And so then you get in real traffic and, real press.
What an interesting discussion we've been having. We're talking with Kris Reid of Ardo SEO. At this point in time, I'm going to take a break to thank my sponsor and come right back. When we come back, we are going to be looking at having a content plan and content performance analysis and so on. You know, we don't want to have this discussion ending. It's just so interesting. And I'm sure so many of you are getting insights on how SEO actually work. Let's take a break. Peak performers. Success is something that we gradually work towards as an end goal, but we need to be in the right environment to make it happen. Bookophilia is dedicated to providing a space for book, coffee and tea lovers, creatives, educators, students, and professionals who want ideas, innovation, and inspiration. They have a variety of high-quality books, a cafe, events such as book launches, signings, and art exhibitions, and professional services uniquely tailored to your needs, culture, and tastes. Their environment provides for the full literary arts experience, allowing for multifaceted creative expressions. Find them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Bookophilia. Do you want to see the world filled with better leaders? Filling the world with leaders worth following starts with you, and you can be that leader in your company, organization, or community. On May 4, 2018, join more than 100,000 leaders from around the globe at the world's largest leadership event, LeaderCast Live. Broadcast live from Atlanta to a community near you, LeaderCast Live will allow you to learn from leaders like Andy Stanley, Michael Hyatt, and Dr. Jim Lure. For more information on this can't miss event, visit Heneka and click on LeaderCast Kingston and invest in the future of your career, your organization, your community, and your world. Welcome back. Yes, Kris, let's continue our SEO conversation. Now let's move into content planning. How do we build a strategy to regularly add great content to our websites?
Once you've defined the keywords that you want, what you need to do is build the content to get those keywords. You know, you're not going to rank for, some long tail keyword unless you have content about it. You need to add good quality content regularly. Depending on how much time you have, it should depend on how much content you can create. That'll be a plan based on, say if you've got enough time to make one article a week. The rule that we stand by is you should be spending 20% of your time making that content and 80% of your time getting that content read. Because Google knows that, they're looking for great content. And if they know people like your content, then they'll rank it. If they know people that don't like your content, then they won't. So if you write an article about, how to buy the best ski boots, and people start linking to it, then Google goes, wow, that must be great content. Awesome. But also, this is where the next part comes in about the usability of your content, the relative of your content. So say you rank for how to buy the best ski boots. Someone comes to your website and it's not good content. They go back to Google. That's a sign to Google that they did not find what they're after, and that should not rank for this. There's a really actually brilliant case study it's a very technical website called Backlinko. He wrote a very good article on how to get high backlinks, high page rank backlinks. Because of his domain authority, he ranked in Google for the keyword how to get high. He's an SEO website. He's not about how to get high. And he saw a huge spike in his traffic as there's all these people that want to know how to get high were turning up his website, but they were returning back to Google really quickly because, it's not about their subject matter. And so Google realized very quickly that this is not a relevant content, and so they dropped it very quickly. And so you need to make sure that your content performs. If people are leaving it, it's rubbish. You need to fix it. And so this comes into content performance. And so there's a free tool that every website should use called Google Analytics. In fact, Google Analytics it was designed by another company. Google bought it off them a very long time ago now for hundreds of millions of dollars. And it used to be a paid tool. It used to be quite expensive too. And Google went, that's an amazing tool. We're going to buy it, and gave it away for free. And it's super valuable. It's pretty overwhelming. Like, there's so much data in there. It can get really tricky to use. But the basics, you can go through it and you can see what people are doing on your website. Where are they entering? So if you've just started, you've got a spike for some keyword, you can see that people are coming for that keyword. Cool. You can see where they're bouncing. Bouncing means where they're leaving your website. And so if they're coming in on that page and they're leaving, well, you better do something about it. Why are they leaving? Is the content not relevant, or does it just satisfy their needs? One thing you should really think about when you're producing content is, what is the point of this content? It's informational? Okay, great. But what do you want the user to do? When they get to the end of it, is that finished? Should they just go back to Google or go to Facebook or whatever? Or what do you want them to do? Do you want them to join an email list? Do you want them to buy something? You should really have a strong call to action that links in with whatever that content is about. If this is a great article about how to buy the best ski boots, cool. Then have a great guide. This is how you buy the best ski boots, and then have your selection criteria at the bottom. If it's the first thing you look at the color or whatever it is, then at the bottom you can have your color panel. Cool. Now here's how you select our color. Step 1. So you integrate it into the article.
We could talk about this all day, but of course we're coming to a close, Kris, and I'd love for you to share with us your final thoughts, your final tips on how to optimize our websites or our content, whatever it is, for search engines.
SEO is a really it's a huge industry, and it can get tricky. It can get really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. I mean, you can at least start somewhere. And what I would really highly recommend is you go to Google and you type in site, SITE, and then your domain name. And you'll see all of your pages that are indexed in Google. It just shows your site, and you can see them in order of relevance. So it should have your domain name first, and then your most important pages next. If it's not your most important pages that come up in that order, then your structure of your site's wrong. You should look at the title tags and the descriptions. The title tags is the main heading that'll come up in Google. If they're not accurate or don't have a good description of that page, then go and get that fixed. Scroll down through the search results. If you've got millions of pages indexed, there could be something wrong, unless you've really got that much content. And, well, do you really need that much content? Look through it and see if there's pages that are indexed that shouldn't be indexed. Removing those will keep more page rank to the pages that should be indexed and help them rank better. Yeah, so I think that's a really powerful tool that you can use, and you can have some simple ways to fix your website.
We have been talking with Kris Reid of Ardo SEO, and you have provided such insight. I know that this is not enough time to delve into everything that we need to delve in about SEO. And so here's an opportunity I'm going to give to you now, Kris, for you to put out there your contact information so that my community members, I know that they have questions and they want to reach out to you. So go right ahead and share your contact details and where to find you.
Sure. Well, I hope I did give some value and information there, and it can be overwhelming. So, start off small. But if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Just Google the coolest guy in SEO. You'll see me, and fire away whichever way you'd like to contact.
Amazing. We have been educated on the subject of SEO. And of course, we yearn for more. So we'll be reaching out to you. Thank you so much, Kris, for spending time with us. Thank you so much for adding so much value. And I wish you all the best as you continue to, educate, and you continue to allow businesses to thrive by being able to rank highly in the different search engines.
And now,
to be
a
optimized.
word from our amazing sponsors.
We needed to raise capital, but our experience with local financial institutions was that they were cautious and slow to act, and interest rates were far too high. We had real concerns about financing our business through outside equity investors and the possibility of interference. Could we get a fair valuation for our business? We had our own ideas about the business and its value. Should I go the traditional route of bank financing, or should I try the Jamaica Stock Exchange? So we made a call and experienced transformation of our business through conversations. I'm John Mahfood, CEO of Jamaican Teas, and we're listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Give us a call today at 876-967-3271 to begin your transformation through conversation. We want to see your company listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
What do you know? We have come to the end of another great episode of the Entrepreneurial You podcast. I trust that you learned something and that something resonated with you so that you can share with others. And speaking of sharing, I'd so love for you to leave a comment on the show notes page of each episode. Well, we're talking about this one in particular. Leave a comment at the end of the page so that when you go the topic, you click down, and at the end there is an option there for you to comment. If you're accessing through iTunes, then by all means, I'd love for you to leave a rate and review. That will keep us as a top rated podcast. It means a lot to me for you to help me out in this way, right? I know you are listening from all over the world, and I so appreciate it, from Japan to Germany to India to Pakistan, everywhere in the Caribbean, in the United States, in Jamaica in particular. Big up my Jamaican peeps. Big up those, of course, in Ohio and all those other states that persons are listening in from, that you are listening in from. I so truly appreciate you. Now, if you want to reach out to me personally, you can actually send me an email, send it to Heneka Watkis-Porter at gmail.com. I am truly looking forward to connecting with you. If you want to send me a voicemail too, you can do that through my website. Just go to the middle at the right of the screen. There is an option for voicemail when you go to henekawatkisporter.com. I do want to hear from you. Remember, you were born to win, but to be a winner, you must plan to win, prepare to win, and expect to win. Walk good.